Alright guys, so here at the cabin it is time to fix another pot of coffee. I'm getting ready to go out and do some work, and while I'm doing that we're going to let some coffee cook up on the wood stove. And the way we're going to do that is a system that's been around for years and it's loved by many, especially on these off-grid cabins and camping situations, and that's a camp top or a stove top percolator. So this is a Revere pot that I've had for years for camping, and inside of it is this system. Water boils, comes up through this tube, goes into this basket which holds your coffee, and the water seeps back down through that and goes back into the pot and makes you a really good cup of coffee. So to get this set up, you put your coffee in here. Now they make these little round paper filters which you can put on here, and it helps take some of that the coffee grindings from settling through. But we're not going to use that today. We're just going to go in there with our coffee, just like if we were out camping and didn't have anything except for our pot here. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to put, there's one, there's two. It looks like this basket, and I thought it was 3 scoops. It held in here pretty good. So we'll do our water calculations from there. So that's 3 coffee scoops of coffee. So we don't want to get the basket so full that it overflows, but I'm going to bring the camera down here for a minute and show you that you can see where coffee has already fallen down on the table. So this coffee is probably ground just a little bit fine for this particular application, but we're going to go with it because this is all an experiment. We're trying to keep things as consistent as we can. And since we're doing that, we're going to use our same water to coffee ratio. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to do 1 heavy. That's 6 ounce cups of water. We're going to place our basket in there, put our strainer on top. We're going to go set this on the wood stove. Alright, well there we go. We got our hot water kettle and our coffee pot set up on the wood stove, just waiting for it to start perking. You can tell by the color in the top of that little glass, sight glass right there in the top when she gets done. Now one thing that I didn't mention was on the inside of that pot is a set of holes that allows it to go to this little pour spout, and we want to make sure that the coffee level does not get up higher than, let's say, the first hole towards the bottom. If it does, you could actually wind up boiling that coffee over. So we'll keep that level down. We're below that level with our the amount of water that we have, and we'll wait till it starts perking. In the meantime, we're going to go get some work done. That's a nice perk rate right there. Very nice indeed. So that's what it looks like without the top on. Well, the work day is done. Supper has been had, and it's now time for some coffee. Let's see how the wood stove top percolator turned out. Nice color. I like that. Put a little bit in here just so we can see. Let's set this down on the butcher block there. Let's get up here where you can take a look. Nice rich color. Definitely not black. Let's give that a taste. Let's turn around this way. That'll work. So the coffee is good. Definitely hot. I like that. It's not burnt, but the flavors are totally different than the French press, even though it's the same coffee. And we use the same amount per ounces of water and use the same water. It's a totally different flavor. It's more nutty. So on that flavor profile, we're going to stick with a 3. Let's do our finish of our pour, and then we'll get into a little bit of the discussion about the cleanup. Alright, so let's talk cleanup. This is what we're left with in the bottom of the pot. So I would say there's a good spoonful of grind down in the bottom of that. And then of course we have our brew basket. So we'll do away with the little piece that brings our hot water up. And then here's all of our grinds. So a couple of reasons that we got those grinds in the bottom of that coffee pot. Okay, there's what we're left with after a good shaking into the trash can. So this is going to have to be washed also, just like the French press. Alright, trying to get the best light I can to show you here, but just know it's dirty. Okay, we're going to have to wash that. So once again, we got some cleaning issues, but no big deal. We'll just wash dishes, right? A little bit of coffee grinds in the pot. There's a couple of things we could have done to prevent that. If you're grinding your own coffee, don't grind it as fine. That'll keep the coffee from going down through the little holes here in the filter. The other thing is we could have used that paper filter that I showed you. I chose not to do it because I didn't want to impart any other flavors into that. It's just a white filter. And I was afraid that messed with the coffee, and I really wanted to see if there was going to be a big difference in the flavor of the coffee in the press compared to the percolator. And there's a huge difference. Absolutely night and day. It doesn't even taste like the same coffee. Alright, so let's go for our final evaluation and what we think about this particular coffee method. Here at the cabin, if you've got a place where cleanup is not an issue, it's a great way of cooking coffee. It's slower, it sits there, it percolates, it's refining and getting more and more of that flavor out of that coffee because that water is going through those coffee grounds, going back down into the pot, getting pushed back up through that percolator, going through those grinds again, and that process just continues. So you're extracting more and more of that flavor out. But the flavor profile is totally different because of that. So that one you're going to have to experiment with and just see which one you like the best. I will tell you they're both a good cup of coffee. The cleanup is going to be about the same with both. I'm rating this one at a 3 also. So far we're tied. Alright, thanks for joining me for this one. Work's all done. It's about time to head home. As much as I hate to leave the cabin with a snowstorm coming, being off grid, snowstorms don't bother me. I wouldn't mind being snowed in here for a few days at all, but got responsibilities back home. We've done what we need to do, and it's time to get out of here. So until next time, I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. home of global safety and survival. Thanks for joining me for this coffee and a little bit of time at the cabin. Till next time, God bless.